about is that we're using sheet metal. So when you bend sheet metal, it's not going to be a perfect drop. What we actually need to do is we need to create a curve, almost like a fillet, at one end, at the front end. So I want this area here to be my front end. So what I'm going to do is, if I get my tape, I can get this right, I hope. Go along this axis, and I want 3. Undo that. I want down 3. Now, the way it works, I want to do this one, 1, and then another one, 1. Then by pressing A, we get arc. We go from that point there to that point there. We'll create a bulge of 1 mil. If you go up to this line, it's pretty much automatic. I'm going to create another one. So if we go here, click, and press 0.3, it's roughly about a third of the size we just created. Again, we have this fillet. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to show that it's a curve and it's representation, and so we can allow for that in the future. So it's a little bit bigger. The reason it don't have to be perfect because there's calculations to go involved, which Sketchup doesn't do. So, and they can take quite a while. So what we're going to do is we're going to create 2 lines. I'm going to seal up this shape. Press P, our pad tool, and we're literally going to go, if I can get there, there, it just clicks onto that side. So if we look now, we have a nice little curved lip. It's nice and easy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create our lip at the front. So I'm going to make it 47 to allow for that curve, so that we can have a nice even number when we have a flat sheet. So simply by pressing our rectangle tool, by getting it on the right there. So my dimensions are like so. I don't want any holes in this. I want it to be a nice flush just face of metal, which allows me to hide everything underneath. So just have it clipped there, and that's our first part of the shelf done. Not too hard, reasonably simple, and that's the main part. So all our batteries can now sit on that shelf, and in fact we can hide that group. So if we just hide it, now if we triple click this, we can click component, and we can call this component our shelf. So there's our shelf. As you can see, it's down here, and it's component because that is 4 squares, and the group is represented by 1 thick square. Now the next is we need to do a brace. Now which braces are we going to do? I think I'm going to start off with a cross brace. So quite simply, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some reference geometry using our tape measure here, because we need to know where our holes are to put them in. So we need to know where this hole is, so by doing this we create a point, which is where our hole is. We also need to know where we want it, and where we want it to start, and where we want it to finish. So I want this to go this way, and I want it to go that way. 23. There's a reason for that, and that's so we can get the bend, which is on this part, so we can get this bend exactly the same as what we did last time. So again, I'm going to go 23 this side. Well, actually, I'm going to go 25 to create this nice big surface which creates our strut. Now we need all these holes here, so we only need to know where this reference is. So if I select our select tool again, we can hide this component. As you can see, all our lines are here. Now I do believe I've forgotten one more. That's not a problem. So if I unhide, I need to see where it starts. So select our tool again. There. So that's where it starts. So if we'll hide our shelf again. So we know it starts here, we know there's a hole there, and we know we want it that wide and all the way across. So by selecting our rectangle tool, we are going to go all the way over here. It's nice and easy, and by selecting circle, radius on that intersect, and by typing on the line radius 4, with our select tool, select the circle, move, and our control, we want to go 300 times 4, and there's all our holes. Now again, we want to be nice 2mm, we want it to be made all of the same material, nice 2mm, and that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to create this 2mm drop. So again, P, down, 2, 2. Select, and let's get rid of all these holes again. And there's our first part of this cross brace that we're creating. Delete that line. So what we're going to do now is, again, we're going to create a little lip, because anybody that knows anything about structural, this is no structure. By creating a lip and giving it some depth, it allows us to create a lot more strength in our actual component. So by doing this, we're going to do this the same again. So we select our, first of all, we're going to select our select tool. I'm going to get rid of these lines here and get our tape measure out. Same trick, 3 by 3, one by 1, and press A to get our arc tool. And L to get our line. And pad it out. Exactly the same. Here's another measurement. It's much simpler, just type a measurement in. And the front lip on this, again, is not going to have any holes. So we're just going to create another rectangle from lip to lip. We're going to create it again. The length by 47. Nice and square. Get a pad tool again. Get it to that point. Now we're going to put one addition on this. It's not just a small version of our shelf. We want it to attach to the walls of our cabinet. So we need to put another face on this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a tape measure out again. And we're going to do another lip. 3 by 3. 1 by 1. And again, same thing, arc. Get it right there. Finish it off. Get our pad tool, and then, because this is nice and simple, just reference it here. Again, a rectangle. Let's do another lip. If you want. We want 47 by 48. Nice and easy. Now we want to put some circles on here because this is where we want it to bolt onto our actual cabinet. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our tape measure tool out. I'm going to go this side 10 and do 10 from each side. That one went the wrong way. Get rid of that. So now this creates 4 nice intersects where our holes can be. Now I want these ones to be M10 to give it a little bit of extra strength, seeing as what they're holding up. So what we're going to do is we're going to create 4 holes with 5 radius. So get our circle tool out again. Pad tool. Select these surfaces and get rid of them. So there we have that. Now we want this on the other side. Now instead of going through all the rigmarole of recreating it, what we're going to do is we're going to select each face that makes it up. And then we're going to create a group. Now this group is going to be called just brace end. So what we can do now is we can get that group with our M tool, we can move it. So oh, I seem to have missed. Oh no, it doesn't matter. So what I'm actually going to do is press Control do want it to be moved along want it moving along the red axis. So let's just undo that and start again. So select our group, move tool, move it along the axis. Now do realise it's the wrong way. Not a problem. By right clicking this, we can flip it along the red axis, sorry, and then again we can just move it there. So what we can do now is we can select all this together and make a component and just call it a cross brace. I'm going to create that. So there is one more issue with this. Now if we unhide our shelf, you'll see it's there. It's right going through it. We don't want that. This is because the reference material that we made was on the shelf face there. So what we can do, select our cross brace, move. Don't want to do that. Along the blue axis, 2 millimeters. You see, we have a nice snug fit. Now what we're actually going to do now is we're going to take this and again we're going to move it. We want it along the green axis,